All right, are we live? Okay, we're good. All right, so good evening, good afternoon, good night. My name is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind Group page, and we come live to you every other Monday night from 6 Central Time. We usually have an approved agenda that we talk about. We usually post that on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and then we have a discussion. If you're joining us, you're free to join in and ask questions on this topic or any other topic with the ATM business. My name is Philip Webb. I've been in the ATM business for over 24 years. Started out pretty much when you were able to buy your own ATM and put it into a location and earn money with it. They deregulated the ATM business, so to speak. Before this, it was only for banks. They deregulated it, and they allowed us to put ATMs in gas station, convenience stores, bars, restaurants, grocery stores, pretty much wherever somebody who needed cash could take out cash. That gave us the ability to buy the ATMs, charge a surcharge, and then reap the rewards of of the surcharges. Back in the day, we used to spend as much as $8,000 on an ATM. We could only really make $1, but times have changed. And during that time, the price of the ATM came way down, and the price of surcharge has gone up. I'm seeing surcharges as high as $4.95 now in certain areas. Pretty much the average, I would say nationwide, is probably about $3.50, but they are as high as that amount of money. What you end up doing when you're in the ATM business is you charge, let's call it $3.50. You give a part of that commission or surcharge money to the location for you to basically it's commission for you to put the ATM into the location. And then from there, you reap the rewards of the transactional value every month. You get usually paid, depending on what processor you go with, usually get paid the next business day, and you get your money back the next business day. Although some people will elect to take it on a monthly basis instead of a daily basis. So that is how the ATM business works. Now, today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about the best ways to keep your ATM filled with cash, understand how to safely move and track your money, and then provide great customer service. All right. I also put in the link on the side here of if you're interested in getting in the ATM business, we have a masterclass that teaches you from A to Z how to be successful in the ATM business. And so you can, if you decide, it also comes with coaching from time to time. If you want to reach out to me because you're a student, you can. You have access. We have a ATM community. We also have inside there, we have over 50 videos that teach you everything you need to know about the ATM business, along with vault cash agreement, ATM location agreement, a mobile agreement, and if you want to, a service agreement. So if you want to sell an ATM and still make money with a service agreement. So all that is in the course. And You can elect to buy the course, or if you just want to get an ATM business, then you can just buy an ATM and get in the business. I highly recommend you buy the course just because it's a learning curve that will help you get from basically wherever you're at to more of from a beginner more to an intermediate person. Um, and it's a very inexpensive course. So, with that being said, and if you have a question, just throw it in the chat. And if it's this about this or anything else related to ATM business, um, I will answer the question. All right. So, learn the best ways to keep your ATMs filled with cash. When you're in the ATM business, most of the processors give you an ATM portal. All right, that portal will allow you to view your ATM. Not everyone allows you to view it in real time, but a few of them allow you to view it in real time. So, which means if you put money in your ATM, let's say you put $5,000 in your ATM a week ago, you might want to look at it and you say, hey, where am I at on a daily basis? Then you could look at it and you can see where your ATM is. Now, some of the processors provide a mobile app, some do not, or some do, but it's really not a very good mobile app. But they give you the ability to look on your phone. If they don't, then they'll at least have a desktop or like an iPad version that you can look at the ATM. From there, what you want to do is you want to see what the average daily transaction volume. Some processors will calculate this for you. If you have to do it manually, this is how you do it. You just take the money that was out um, and on, let's say, call it a 30-day average, divide it by 30. That'll give you your average daily withdrawal. And then from there, you want to plan out, okay, my average daily withdrawal is $500. I'm going to fill the ATM in 10 days. That's $5,000. If you say, hey, I want to buffer a little, what we do is I like to buffer it 3 days. So for me, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to fill it, if I got $500 average, my 10-day average is 5,000. I buffer it by 3. It's an extra $1,500. Put $6,500 in the ATM, and then fill it, let's say, on a 10-day rotation. So now I got $6,500 in that rotation. If that rotation uses more money than in the next, let's say in summer, I would say the ATMs go through more money in the summer months than they do in the winter months. I would say the slowest time in the ATM business is December and January. So in the summer, you will notice that, hey, my ATMs are going increasing. Now, I operate in Illinois, so we see that I don't really track it as close in other parts. We do process throughout the whole country. I really didn't look at, hey, is it better in the wintertime in Florida or other states? I never really looked at that, but I know in Illinois the numbers, because I look at them every day, all the time. Those are our big months of the year, is basically March, April, May, June, July, August, and September. It starts to go down in October again, and to the worst point, which is December or January. But to give you an idea how you do it, you just take the number. Again, some of the processors, they will give you this average, some do not, but that's how you calculate it. Before they were given it to us, that's how I used to calculate it. Just take a 30-day moving average, calculate it. You can run a report every month, and then you can look at, okay, I'm going through this in a 10-day average, I'm going through this in a 20-day average, 30-day average, so forth and so on. There are software providers. If you don't have, your ISO doesn't do that, there are software providers that you can use that will give you those averages and calculate that over pretty much the lifetime of your ATM. So you'll have anomalies. Maybe around tax time you'll go up, or maybe because of certain things that happen, it'll go up. Maybe once a year there's a festival in the neighborhood and they use your ATM. So in that time it'll go up. So that software will remind you, hey, we got this festival in 2 weeks or a month, so you could prepare for that. All right. So now that is how you decide, okay, how much cash am I going to use? And for what we do also is I look at that all the time, and then I also adjust, maybe by $500. Am I going to add $500 or $1,000? Some people do it in $2,000 increments. Some do it 1,000. We do it in 500 to 1,000, depending on the volume of the ATM. So maybe I got $6,500. We load, and I notice when I go to load, there's only there's $4,000 left. Well, I'm like, okay, how much was the last time we filled? Oh, there was 4,000 again. So you know what? I'm gonna drop it down $1,000 instead of doing 6,500, do 5,500, and see how that. If that's still too much, then we're gonna lower it the next time. So this is the way I look. I'm either adding five or lowering a five, or lowering 1,000, adding 1,000, because I never want to be out of money, because that's death in the ATM business. And I don't want to, I don't want to be close where I'm like, is it going to make it? And I got, one day going into that ATM. I don't know if we're going to make it. We try not to run out. Sometimes, things happen where they go through a lot of money and you're not prepared for that. So what you do is you will have to run out, or you make a judgment call, maybe 2 days. You're like, look, I only got 1,000 hours. It usually goes through 300 hours a day. I got 3 days left. It's Thursday. Do I want to take a chance now? I think I'll just go to the ATM, put money in there, because I know it could run out this weekend, and I don't want to be worried about it running out this weekend. So that's one of the ways that we do that. Now in the winter time, we wear jackets, and we wear jackets to put the money, to carry the money into the location. I see some people use backpacks, some people use toolboxes, some people put the money in their jackets, some people have money belts. All those things are good. You want to be very inconspicuous when you go into the location. And the way you would do it is you look around before you walk in, get out of your car. You look around and make sure everything looks pretty safe and sound. If you get a weird feeling, then what you do is you just drive around the block. Maybe you go to another location, or you come back later, because of, always tired doing this. Because maybe you know what, we don't have to worry about. We want to make sure that we're always safe. And if you get a weird feeling, maybe this is time to not fill the ATM at the particular location. Or if you go in there and you look around the place, because you're only in there for about maybe 2 minutes, but you might decide, you know what, I don't like there's too many people in here. I don't feel safe. So what you do is you just, walk around safe, wait till people leave, and then get in and out and put your money. And then you can get in and out real fast, and program the money. A lot of times what I'll do is I will go to ATM. I might, if I get a weird feeling, I'll program the cash in, and then walk around the store, pretend like I'm buying something, wait for the people to leave, and then I can quick open a safe door, put the money in, and then shut the safe door. That is an easier way to do it. But it's all on what you guys decide. But one of the easiest ways to do is always make sure that you feel that you're safe in the environment. And if you come back. If you don't come back, then you can program the ATM. You can program the ATM and then walk around the store, because that'll split the time. Again, we're only talking about less than 5 minutes to fill an ATM. All right. So now that is the other way how you feel safe is if you got a list. Now this works if you have multiple ATMs, or if you just have a few. Always rotate the days of the week. Always rotate let's say you have 10 ATMs and you go 1 through 10 this week. Maybe next week you go 10 through 1, or the next week you instead of doing it on Tuesday, you do it on Wednesday, or you do it Wednesday to Thursday, or you switch. You want to rotate the days of the week. You want to rotate the times. You want to rotate the route. So what you want to do is you just rotate everything. Rotate the day of the week, rotate the time you fill it in. If you go 1 through 5, maybe next week you go 5 through 1, and change. You're always changing. That way, somebody doesn't know. The worst thing you do is to say, okay, fine, I got my I got my route. I always go at 1 o'clock at Joe's Bar and Grill. Well, you know what? That's the best way to get yourself somebody targeting you to be um, in a routine. And you don't want a routine. What we want to do is we want to be safe, we want to be secure, and we don't want to be um, consistent. We want to be inconsistent is always the best way. Again, rotate it. Maybe Monday becomes Tuesday, Tuesday becomes Monday, Thursday becomes Wednesday, Tuesday becomes Thursday, whatever those things are. And then rotate the time that you go is always the best way to be safe because you're not predictable. And then the other thing is, look at the car you're driving. You know, maybe you drive this car 1 week and then another car another week. If you got multiple cars, or if it's just you, and let's say you got a wife or a girlfriend, maybe you drive her car 1 week and then your car another week. So that way you mix up the cars. And by all means, don't get custom license plates. That's not, you want license plates with just numbers, no letters. Letters makes things easier to remember, and numbers, if it's all numbers, it makes it hard to remember if you didn't know that. But that's what you want to do. You don't want to, cool guy one, or you don't want anything that is a vanity plate. Don't get vanity plates. And if you got vanity plates, get rid of them, because if you're going to be in the ATM business, or don't use that vehicle. And I've seen guys with flawless one or stuff like that is, that it's just, don't have vanity plates if you're going to fill money. If you're going to fill the ATMs with your money and you're going to drive a car with vanity plates, don't do that. You want to be inconspicuous. And if you've been in the ATM business for a while, you want to get an inconspicuous car. I know a lot of people drive Priuses or Hondas or Hyundais. Those are inconspicuous. They blend right in, or Ford Tauruses, something that everybody sees a lot of. And then don't buy silver or white or black. Usually those are common colors. I wouldn't get red or blue because they're flashy colors. So you want to, at least if you want to fill ATM with that card. All right. And then one of the last things you want to do is you always want to provide great customer service in the ATM business. How do you do that? What does that look like? One of the things you do is when the ATM goes down, respond with, if somebody calls you and says, "Hey, Phil, I'm here at Joe's Bar and Grill and the ATM doesn't work." All right. So, okay, here, let me do this. Let me look and see what's going on, and then I'll call you back. Okay, great. Then you look at the portal, and you can see, hey, somebody requested $100. It gave him 80, but it shorted him 20. Maybe the dispenser is, it's not working, or something went down. Is the ATM out of service? So if you have a rebooter and you can, or you can add, what you can do is you can add the location. Hey, can you unplug the ATM and plug it back in? Usually that'll recycle the ATM, and then you don't have to worry about going there. You ask them, "Hey, did that work?" And they said, "Yeah, it worked," or "No, it didn't." Or sometimes, most of the time it works because it'll cycle the bill through. But just like recently this weekend, we had a good location, said, "Hey, the guy requested a couple $100. It got jammed, and the ATM's out of order." We asked them to unplug it, plug it back in. Didn't work. We went to location, and you know what? All the bills were jammed. One of the bills ripped, and then it caused a jam. So this does happen from time to time, and then you will have to go out there for that ATM. But that's the way we stay in business. So what you want to do is you want to always follow it up with a call. "Yeah, I see you called. What's the issue?" I try to look at the portal before I call them to kind of have an idea what's going on. Then I could tell them, "Hey, unplug it, plug it back in." That helps. That usually solves, like you said, 50 or 60% of the time, but sometimes it doesn't. And then when it doesn't solve that problem, then we have to go out there, and usually it's a rip bill, or sometimes when you're filling the ATM, if you fill the ATM and the bills kind of slip down like this, then they get to that section, and then what happens is it jams up. So what you want to do is you want to be very conscious of the way you fill it. So you want to make sure that doesn't happen. What I like to do is I like to take the money all out and put the money together, or put it back in. If you're doing ads, if you're doing swaps, which I highly recommend you do swaps and not ads, that's where you come in and you take the money all the way out, take the money that's in the reject thing, take that all out, take that back to the home office and put money in there. That usually reduces a lot of dispenser errors and jams, because what happens when you're putting the money in, sometimes one bill will fold a little and you put the other one in, and when it gets to that point where you add the money, that's when a jam happens, and then throw the ATM out of service. So what you try to do is you would try to avoid those issues by taking it all out. So again, what I would recommend is taking all the money out. If you're adding, putting it all together as a whole, as one chunk, and then putting it back in the ATM. If you can't do a swap, again, what a swap is, where you take that money that's in the ATM, you take that back to the home office, you put brand new money in to get it to what we consider a par value. Par value is whatever the money is that it takes me to get to the next cash cycle. If it's a week, 2 weeks, a month, 5 days, 10 days, whatever that is, that's my par value. And I always add to that money, or add to that, get to that par value. The reason I do that is because I want to know how much are they going through on a weekly, daily basis. So if I'm going every 10 days, and in my example before it was 500. So if I'm there in 10 days, it's 5,000. I'm there in 12 days, it's 6,000. I'm there in 20 days, it's 10,000. So I know that however many days I go, that's what my par value is. And so what I'm trying to do is get again to the next cycle, so I can gauge, am I putting too much money in here? Or am I not putting enough in there? And so that's what you're always trying to do. Again, there's anomalies for us, the beginning of the month, which we're at today. That is, I hate that. It's a lot at the end of the day. But when I get there at the beginning of the month, end of the month, those are a big day for us. We get a lot of people that take a lot of money out, and when we do that, then the ATM goes. I don't want it to run out of money, so I know the beginning of the month is a little heavier than the end of the month, but those are always a good time. So if we're coming in the end of the month and the ATM is low, I'm always thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna add a little bit more. Because we're at the end of the month, because the beginning of the month's coming up, and I want to get to past that first week. And I don't want to have to make a special trip because it is at the end of the month. And then you make those adjustments. Keep in mind, there's seasonalities to the ATM business, as we talked about before. And what season are you in? Are you in a season where I need more money, or am I in a season in when I need less money? So it just depends on what season you're in. So with that, we're going to look to see if there's any questions. So we're just going to wait. Does anybody have any questions? We got a couple people. Let me see. Okay. Nobody's asking any questions. So if this was helpful, I just want to ask you guys to throw some fire emojis in the chat. That's always great. Let me know that you found some value with this. Again, I put in on the chat for anybody who's going to watch the replay, or when you guys look at you want to get into ATM business, we have a master class. You can click on the link and take your first steps into the ATM business. The ATM business is a great business. It pays a lot of a good terms of in percentages. We make a good chunk of money, and it adds a little value. We're not looking, everybody's looking for being a millionaire right away, but it's a good steady income to get some more extra income, and you control your own destiny. I get tired when I was first coming up. I got tired of somebody else control my own destiny. What I like to do is take charge of my destiny instead of let somebody else do that. And the way we did it is by getting in the ATM business. So I get a little extra money at the end of the month. And then pretty soon it was a little more and a little more and a little more. And then I could retire from my job. So it was great. So I hope this was helpful. I will see you guys again. We broadcast live every other Monday from 6 to 6, usually 6 to 6:15. If we have questions, we'll stay as long as the people are having questions. And we have a topic. Next time, our topic is know how to help customers if they have problems with your ATM. Keep your ATMs working well so your customers are happy. and using technology to manage your ATMs. And how do we do that? So, again, I just want to thank you guys for joining on today. And if you can always leave a question in the chat, I'll return those, or I'll answer those questions. And I just want to say thank you guys very much. We also sell ATMs. We service ATMs. We provide processing free of charge. If you guys want to get into the ATM business, we're here to help. So thank you guys very much. And I see you same bad time, same bad channel in 2 weeks. Thank you guys very much. And as Auntie Val would say, that's it. That's all, says the clock on the wall. I want to give her kudos. She's an amazing woman. It was her birthday last week. So talk to you later. Bye-bye.